outspoken would be the word that would first come to mind when thinking of Mitos Magsaysay, a trait often associated with that lady senator who has made a living and killing, dishing out pick-up lines against political foes. Is Mitos Magsaysay the heir apparent, or is she her own person? Watch and listen on Inquest Vote 2013.
Do you actually have someone who you look up to? Your role model or role model, so to speak?
Actually, my mom.
Okay.
Because my mom was always the most influential, considering that my dad died when I was 11 years old, so we were 7 na magkapatid. So it was really my mom who honed and shaped me as to who I am, aside from, of course, the institutions like the school and my religion. When my dad died when I was 11, my brother was 15, my eldest, and the youngest was 3.
Yeah.
And I saw how she prioritized education to make sure that never mind if I sacrifice on the material comforts for myself, as long as I make sure that all of you go to good schools. Because later on, I know that investing in your education will pay off. And I saw how it really did pay off for me and my siblings. And that is why even in my being a mother, and as the mother of the district of Zambales, I prioritized heavily on education and health.
And aside from education and health, what are the things do you value?
Family.
Okay.
Because, since we had no father, masyadong nagbonding kaming magkakapatid. Because my mom was so busy working, doon namin nakita na you have to take care of your siblings. When I became, when I got married at 19, and had my first child at 9 months after, 19 also. Kaya milestone ng 19 sa akin. For me, I can give up everything except my family. As long as my family is intact, that will be my number 1 priority.
Okay. Has there been any attempt to probably change this image or tone it down?
Actually, my masculine side only comes out in politics. At home, I'm very motherly. So what they see in public is not what I am in private. Because people expect you as a legislator to ask questions and to fight for their interests. I've been known as feisty 2 months into office. That's why they call me feisty dragon lady. 2 buwan pa lang ako sa kongreso. Binansagan na akong ganun. Because they saw na, uy, palaban pala talaga to pag may pinaglalaban siya, dalaban mo yung distrito niya, wala siyang pakialam kahit sino yung kaharap niya. Basta sasabihin niya, gusto niya sabihin, kung mali, mali. But I'm not the kind of person kasi na yung pagka-feisty ko at pagka-dragon lady ko, pang-propaganda.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Mitos Magsaysay if I'm just gonna be afraid of anyone. As long as I know what I'm doing is right, I'm not afraid. Nobody can scare me. And para sa akin kasi that's how passionate I am for things that I believe in.
Would you encourage your children to enter politics?
Well, my sons are entering politics now, not because I told them to. They've been exposed to it since 5 years old. They've been campaigning for their lolo house to house since 5 years old. But
how do you relieve stress whenever when there was the RH bill, people were heckling?
Oh, simple. As long as I know my kids are 101% rooting for me, my family, that's all that matters. I don't care what other people say. I'm not here to please other people.
Yeah.
I'm not here to change who I am so that I can just suck up to you.
Is that how you cope with, let's say, there are moments of frustrations or of disappointments, but as long as you have your family, is that the way you cope with things?
Yes. As long as my family is whole, I'm saying, well, this is just part of the job. This is not who we are in real life. So as long as I know that my kids are with me and my husband's with me, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, After my term ends, or let's say, or my stint in politics ends, the only people left with me are my family. So, para sa akin, the only people probably that matters the most to me are my family.
Do they actually count when you're considering filing bills or measures? I mean, do you consult them as much as you probably consult your constituents?
So much so, they're my number one critic. That's why I'm as feisty as I am, and I'm very articulate. Because my kids are the one who debate with me. And you know, when I was anti-RH, it was my daughter who's 19 now. At that time, she was about 17 years old. When she was the first one who told me that I didn't have to pass the RH bill because there was an existing law, which is the Magna Carta for women. Actually, when I passed it last administration, I kind of forgot yung provisions na nakalagay na pinasa ko doon. But, you know, my daughter reminded me, remember when you passed the Magna Carta for women last Congress under Section 17, because she's taking legal management in Lasal? Siya nagturo sa akin. That's why I exposed it. And that's where everybody started saying, oh, hindi na pala kailangan eh. Kasi that's why I thank my daughter for that.
If you are actually filing a bill, which do you rely on more? Your head or your heart? Kasi minsan nasa gender din yun, yung perception na yun eh.
My head.
Why?
Because I know that every time my head thinks, my heart was already taken into consideration. Like, I temper what I see on the ground with what reality and what should be done.
Is it similar to, let's say, when you are trying to make a tough decision, do you rely more on principles or in facts?
It was more the practicality of the whole thing that prevailed. I usually lead by example, and I'm firm but fair. When I make a policy in my district, I have not broken it since day one, because I want consistency in whatever I do, and even for the issues that I fight for, I've been very consistent from the start. When I entered politics in 2004, up to today, I've never flip-flop on any decision. Pag meron na po akong napag-desisyonan, pinaninindigan ko, papaglaban ko yun. And the only reason why I'm feisty is because if I cannot defend myself against political opponents or persecutors, I cannot defend my district. Maraming beses ko na rin natira si GMA, she knows that eh. Kaya si ma'am noon, she was wary of me. I was not close to her because takot siya sa akin kasi parang, ano ba to, kakampi ba to? I mean, sanay sila kasi kapag kakampi ka, lagi na lang magagandang sinasabi mo, you patronize the president. I never patronized her. She knows that. There are a lot of bills already. What I want to focus on is the oversight functions of a senator, which I see most senators and congressmen are not utilizing. All I have to do is just to keep in touch with the governors and the mayors and see what they lack. Actually, I plan to put up flagship medical clinics in the regions where it doesn't have to be open every day, but there must be certain days that will be open in a month para pwedeng puntahan. Tapos meron akong mobile na bus na pwedeng pumasok sa bawat bayan-bayan.
Is this one of the priority
yes,
measures that...
Because you know, honestly, I saw how a poor person can get wiped out just because he got sick. When I first entered Congress, I found it strange na may pork barrel ng kongresista. Kasi ang main job ng legislator, kumuha ng batas, amendo ng batas, repeal ng batas, mag-file ng resolution para you can exercise your oversight functions. Nangyari, nung dahil sa pork barrel na naging quasi-executive yung function namin, tuloy na defocus yung karamihan ng mambabatas. Akala nila, basta mag-perform ka sa district mo, huwag ka na pumasok. Nananalo ka kasi importante kung ano yung nauuwi mo sa proyekto sa distrito. So, sa akin, yung pork barrel, parang dapat dyan, kung ma-abolish yan, okay lang sa akin eh.
What will actually make you agree with the president?
Any president?
For instance, you're now in the
opposition?
responsible opposition, as they say.
Actually,
but what will make you agree with the president?
If
What
the policy,
issues?
if the policy is correct, like when Pinoy prioritized DepEd, I was very happy. I even said it last night.
Yeah.
Na, oh, I'm very glad that he prioritized DepEd, but he forgot tertiary education. See, it depends on the issue. Like, I was very glad when he set the tone of how government officials should act with the simplicity, because he, as a president, is very simple.
Some people think that you will be another Miriam Santiago if you win and are elected in the...
Maybe
how different can you be from
Miriam?
you know?
Probably I'll not, she makes outbursts kasi. I don't. We're probably both feisty. But I guess it's up to the feistiness. Because, it's very rare that you find a woman who's feisty. And who can, but let's put it this way, they say I've got balls in my brains and brains in my balls, so I guess, it's you hardly see a woman like that.
When you have 6 children, what would Mitos Magsaysay do if one of those were one of them?
If one of my kid was a homosexual, I'll accept the kid. What I don't like lang naman is the same-sex marriage. But I have respected homosexuals, whether lesbians or gays. I've accepted people for who they are. I don't judge people. Kung ganun ka, tatanggapin kita, ganun ka eh. Hindi naman kita kaya baguhin eh. Hindi naman ako ang nanay na nagpalaki sa'yo. So, tanggapin lang kita. I'll just accept you. Yun ang first thing kasi to having a peaceful existence is to accept people for who they are.